Very good morning from Singapore. Thank you. Thank you, GovInsider, for giving me this 10 minutes to speak. I'm Dennis. I lead Vital, and over at Vital, we are a department within the Singapore Ministry of Finance. And what we do is really shared services in the realm of finance processing, HR processing, and procurement for the whole of government in Singapore. And you may be wondering, what has cloud got to do with my work? Well, here am I to tell you a little bit more. But just to give you a little scale of what we do, right? I have almost 500 employees full-time. Serving more than 100,000 public servants across 100 government agencies. And these are some of the key services that we do. Right, you can imagine that backroom, back-end, finance processing, HR processing has always been seen to be not exactly cutting edge and leading edge. But I would like to quote from one of my wise bosses who told me, Dennis, backroom is no longer backwater. You must do something about transformation and bringing yourselves to the digital age. And indeed, in Vital, we've been pushing the boundaries of digitalization and automation through these years. Some of the initiatives we do, where we look at policy and ops tech integration, would including going upstream to consult and influence policies so that we make our processes easier and more quickly, easier and better. But we also need to leverage on tools, right? We no longer think ourselves just like a processing or transactional hub, but we also must bring in technologies to make our work do even better. Well, then you may be wondering, what has cloud got to do with all this? Over time, we realized that we need to upskill and bring up all our staff along with us, adopting communities of practice so that everybody can come along on this digitalization journey, using apps that are really available. For example, in Vital, we do demand aggregation and bring transport apps to the whole of government, and also using analytical tools like Tableau, FI, Gov, etc., to bring everything in. Now, all this actually has a very, very great impact on us, because in our journey to moving towards digitalization and automation, we want to focus on what we call, and I'll spend the rest of my time talking about the whole idea of citizen development and bringing the organization along. We have all heard of cloud, and frankly speaking, cloud and technology is very scary to many of my staff, right? So along the way, as we try to scale up through automation, we need to first show them how exactly they can benefit from it, how they can use tech to do their work better. And it's not just about the organization telling the staff to do more, do better, do faster. They will always look back at the bosses and say, boss, how are we going to do it? What is the organizational strategy and approach? And here I would spend a bit of time to say that is where the cloud and all the wonderful things you can find in the cloud these days gives us that opportunity, that levers the ideas to grow and develop our staff. And you'll see that I keep talking about my staff and my people. I have to make sure, as the leader of the organization, technology is not for just the IT chaps at the top. There is never any way we can be hiring enough IT coders, people with IT degrees. The question for me then is, how do I cascade and bring innovation to my entire organization of staff that are so used to doing processing, transactions, HR, finance in the past 20, 25 years. So we are pushing very hard on what I call a citizen developer strategy. We did not invent this term, we stole it or copied it from the private sector. How then do we put in programs and use technologies from the cloud in order to let everybody have a stake, have skills and upskill in this journey? So the solution from a technological perspective is not to layer on more and more difficult, extremely difficult to do stuff, because I cannot expect my team, every one of them, to be able to do hardcore coding line by line using Python, C++, etc. It's just way too difficult. But what has happened in the past 5 years is all these wonderful technologies, primarily from the cloud, gives us low-code platforms, even no-code platforms. I've named some here. There are many more that we can, as an organization, bring it in systematically and allow every staff, right down to the most junior entry-level staff doing processing work, to play around, to experiment, to do projects, to show that they can do their work even better. And cloud is not just about RPA. I know my slide, layer one was the RPA. It's not just about RPA. It's about access to all these other new tools that we read about. Sometimes the technology leaders and business leaders salivate, wow, I want that in my organization. How do you bring it in? If you take a closer look at the cloud offerings today, you have machine learning solutions, you have AI solutions, you have recruitment cloud-based solutions, you have virtual agents, you have chatbots. All these are all out there, right? The question then is, for me as a public sector leader, how do I bring them in? How do I bring it into my organization such that my people can benefit? So here you can see that I'm articulating the whys, right? The why we need to secure our move, our thinking, our innovation focus, and look to the cloud for inspiration. And this is my second last slide. So to me, and as a public service leader leading an organization that's primarily transactional and processing in the past, the future is very exciting, right? The future is very exciting. Why? A cloud-first approach just means that when we look at all the technologies we have that support our work, so much is out there. No longer we are thinking about on-prem or building something based on our own needs or our own whims and fancies. It's about benchmarking ourselves against industry best practices. And even though I'm in government, the function I perform, finance, HR, procurement, I believe the best ideas are out there, are out in the private sector, are out in the MNCs and out in the thought leadership. We learn from thought leaders. We leverage on platforms that are already out there, and we explore emerging technologies that allow us to take everything forward. And my final slide. In Vital, we have cascaded now our strategic direction into what we call the 3 Ps, right? 3 Ps, people, partners, platform. And I put people right on top because at the end of the day, we need good people. We need not just to bring in smart people, we always need that, but we need to grow the people within our organization. And bear in mind, many of these people, many of my staff have been working for me 10, 20, some even 30 years. The last time they went to school, cloud didn't exist. The last time I went to school, well, at least before university, internet didn't exist. So we must think about upskilling them and training them and giving them a chance so that they have the skills and ability to participate in this modern digital world. And hence, if you look at the first line of my first bullet point of my presentation, we in Vital take great pride that we're sending our staff all back to school, to institutes of higher learning, including our polytechnic partners. I'm glad Bing Fai is here, he can talk about it. Right, they need to go back to school to learn, right? Learn the new skills, new technology, so that they can get access to these low-code and no-code type of solutions out there. And it's not a shame to learn, it's not a shame to say, I don't know how to do it, because I, as the CE, have no clue either. So we go and we learn together, right? And members in my leadership team are also playing around with cloud-based solutions, sometimes on their own personal laptops, leading by example. With empowering people, we engage our partners, and then we expand our platforms so that when you think about it, Vital of the old was about a transactional processing outfit, everybody doing paperwork, 8 to 5. The Vital of today and tomorrow is an ops tech leader. No different from an IT firm, you know, where we bring in all the relevant technologies around the world in our domain and bring us forward so that we can serve our colleagues, public service colleagues better, and then we can serve Singapore even better. And that's all I have. Thank you very much for inviting me today, and look forward to the rest of the panel discussion. Back to you.
All right.